everyone. Welcome to the 15-ish minute coffee chat. Today, Selena of Hauoli-Socially Inspired and Anna of NomadAbout turn to each other to discuss connecting as a small business owner and the value of a coffee chat. Hi, Selena.
Good morning, my friend. How are you today?
I'm good. So we didn't really plan to do this right off the bat, but I'm sure people are like, why did she just come in sounding like an announcer?
Yes. Let's tell everybody why we're doing that.
We're going to tell everyone why we're doing this. So guess what? Selena and I did. Selena, why don't you tell them? Because this was really all you. She calls me up one day and she's like, guess what I just did?
This is like exactly how all of our business ventures together start. And Anna is always game. She's like, okay, cool. That sounds awesome. And then she really gets excited and then she makes me more excited. So anyway, the one thing that we always talk about with content, Anna and I, is repurposing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
exactly how all of our business ventures.
I was like, that's my
sorry, that was totally.
No, I was like, that's weird. Who's talking to us right now?
It was us live streaming to us.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what we did was we took our content and we have a podcast, and it's called the 15-ish minute coffee chat. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, you name it. Every single episode so far has been uploaded and you can listen to us. So if you don't have time to listen to us on Facebook Live, you will find us in your phone and listening to us on the train, in the car. I don't know.
Lulling kids to sleep at night to the lulling sounds of Selena and Anna.
Right. No, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool because I've played back actually every episode because it's just, I don't know, I've loved every single guest that we've had on, and I know Anna feels the same. We're just so fortunate that we've had really awesome guests that have shared their expertise and their knowledge, and I don't know, it's just exciting, and I think, I don't know, we love to do it. I mean. So
we just want to put it in another format so that people that are interested in the content can go and listen to it. If you can't sit and watch something via video, now you have it in podcast form. And we're going to continue to do this, continue to upload them as podcasts. And then you always know you can get a refresher course on either of our websites. We manage a blog where we post, almost the newest.
Don't even look at mine, guys.
This is like us giving advice that we don't keep very well ourselves sometimes. So yes, we're in the process of getting all of our coffee chats up on our website blog so that there's like a little recap and a link to the video and links to our toolkits and all that kind of good stuff. So really excited about that.
No, love it. Absolutely. Anna's right. We are going to be ending season 2 here soon. So during our is sabbatical the right word, Anna? Is that? Okay.
It's like a 3-week break so we can regroup and be like, now what?
Right. No, I mean,
so we gotta find our next set of interviewees and guests for the show. Yeah. Honestly, if we look at the last 2 seasons that we did, which is like 20, as of next week, when we do our last one for next week on season 2, we'll have had 20 different individuals come on, and all of them amazing. I was one of the guests. All of them.
I think we all knew. I think they all knew this was always going to be a Selena and Anna thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. So today we chose not to have a guest on.
Right.
And the reason we chose not to do that is because we wanted to kind of take just a pause, and we wanted to take a look at kind of all the things we've learned and maybe even the reason behind why we even have this 15-ish minute coffee chat. So people might be like, these girls are extra. Like, what do they do?
We are.
2 Texans. I'm going to call us Texans, even though Selena's a Hawaiian and I'm originally from Oregon. We're Texan now. So 2 Texan girls that every Monday morning, find someone to bring as a guest and talk business stuff. Like, what's the
Yeah.
point? Why do we do it? Is it building our business, all that kind of stuff. So today we thought we would just stop and pause and say, what's the value of a coffee chat? How does that help your business? And kind of take it from there, just so that anyone else who might be thinking about moving forward with something similar to what we're doing. Now, you can't have the 15-ish minute coffee chat, clearly, but
it's ours.
About doing your own podcast or your own live stream,
right?
We highly encourage it. Highly. So last week's guest, Flossie, one of the philosophy.
The Flossie.
Yeah, the Flossie.
Flossie, when you watch this later, you have to call it the philosophy.
Yeah, the philosophy.
As I spit.
That's hysterical. That actually works really well. I'm just going to start using that. So the philosophy is that there is more than enough business to go around. We don't need to be in competition with each other. And as small business owners, Selena and I have really taken that to heart, in that one of the reasons we do this coffee chat is to help other small business owners excel at what they do.
Right.
So
exactly. No, exactly. And I think, just touching back on Flossie, right? She told us, she was like, we physically cannot help every single person that needs the help. So there is definitely enough to go around. And I think that when you decide to collaborate and when you see that, like when you understand that mindset, I think so much more comes into your business life. Things that you didn't even know you needed, right? I totally agree, Anna. I agree with the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So Anna, wait, I'm going to ask you, okay, before Anna came on, like, I'm always surprising her, like, hey, I decided we're going to do it like this. And she's like, oh, I love it. Just like how we started our coffee chat, just like how we started our podcast, just like how we started 10 million other things. I'm not joking. But one, I will say this, and I wanted to tell, I told Anna this before we came on, is this last week, I've just been around other business partners and watching them. And I just sit there going, man, I feel so fortunate to have someone like Anna be that person to me. And I think that if you are able to find someone that you can partner with, not maybe just in business, but with certain projects, it makes this entrepreneurial journey feel not so lonely. But I told Anna I was at dinner last night and I was watching two founders of a organization that's awesome. And I was just watching the chemistry between them two. And I just was like, I got happy feelings inside watching others have that same type of relationship that I feel like I have with Anna. Like we were best friends before we even partnered up in work. And it just so happens that we work really, really well together as well. So it's like, anyway, so.
Very fortunate. Yes. So advice number one, find your person. Find your person.
Right? Because and then let me ask you this, like, do you feel like if you don't have a person, or like, do you think that you should have a person, like, as an entrepreneur? Like, what's your take on that?
I do. So in my opinion, like you can have great ideas, but when you have a chance to bounce ideas off of, even if it's not a single person, even like a group, that becomes like your tribe of people, but even a small group where you can just bounce ideas around. I remember one of our very first coffee chat guests, Laura DeVericus, and how we originally met Laura because of another thing that we're still thinking about doing and just haven't taken off the ground yet. But we had invited like a pilot group of entrepreneurs to join us to test out kind of this idea Selena and I had.
Right.
And I just remember when it was over, Laura's feedback was how she's like, the ideas, I never would have come up with any of this without having other people to just throw and bounce things off of. She said, I had in my head a direction I wanted to go, but I didn't know how to get there. And it was the insight and input from other people that helped her kind of formulate what she wanted to end up doing with it. And I really think that there's no downside to that, especially for an entrepreneur, because it is a lonely journey. I mean, I'm in my office all by myself. I don't have Selena sitting the next, cubicle over or desk over. Granted, it is very convenient to be able to like just literally be on Zoom all day long if we need
Yes.
to.
Yes. Like we've mentioned previously, our husbands will come in and they hear our voices in their house and they're like, it's Anna, it's Selena, or,
True. Paul comes home and I'm like, hi, Paul. How are you?
So true. No, and so does John. And I love that they're super supportive and they haven't like disconnected the Wi-Fi or any other ways that we can stay connected. It's legit. Like I talk to my husband and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go call Anna, and he's like, okay, fine. Like I'm repeating. Yeah. Oh, see, John.
Yeah. And here, that's John. He's like, yep, that's right. So I really think the key here is, though, that yes, if you don't have anyone else to bounce ideas off of, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice. If you don't have anyone else, stay tuned, because Selena and I are on to a hot idea.
We are. Oh, it's too early. You're gonna have to refresh me after.
Well, we were talking about starting at the beginning of next year, just to make sure that this is ready, all that stuff. Little insight. Like,
for those of you listening to our podcast, I have made eyeballs to eyeballs motion, so you are clearly aware what is happening if you cannot see what is happening.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know that.
Right. Okay, so I told Anna this morning I did a thing. We are at 12 minutes and 52 seconds, and we are only going to do this for 30 minutes.
That's it.
Today.
Shortest chat ever.
When Anna and I talked about this yesterday or the day before, whatever day it was, Anna's like, "Oh, a really true 15-ish minute coffee chat," and we both giggled, and then we're like went on to things. So I'm bringing this to the stream, and I'm going to hope this works, but I took one of the toolkit tools that Anna and I did, which was answerthepublic.com, and I just kind of put in the word entrepreneur, and I was curious what people were asking. So if you don't remember, answerthepublic.com was just kind of a free, within limits, toolkit that would allow you to kind of find content based on the keyword that you're looking for. And so today I popped in entrepreneur and I was curious some of the questions. So I'm going to let the wheel of names dictate our questioning for Anna and I today. So let's see how this goes, because I put in a whole sentence versus a name. So let's see what happens. But here's our first question. Anna, you ready?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
It's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. And
the winner is
our entrepreneur's happy. That's a great question,
Anna, right? Yeah, let's talk. Wait. So Anna, don't freak out. I'm going to
my face big.
Don't do it.
Don't be doing it.
Wait, I don't know whose face is going to be bigger, but let's just see what it does here. It took Anna out. This is not. No.
This. So StreamYard just came up with. We'll give a little StreamYard plug while Selena's figuring this out. StreamYard just came up with some new tools that we're still getting used to in our streaming efforts.
Yeah.
So one of them is this opportunity to make somebody kind of a featured speaker.
Yeah.
I think that's what Selena's trying to do, but I think maybe we do this and then we can do that. There, look.
Ooh, no. What I was trying to do is trying to see if I could get it so that so here's us playing, but bringing it into the stream, but making this smaller with us bigger, but it's just not going to do that. So anyway, we popped our question down below. All right, Anna, you go first.
Our entrepreneur is happy.
Yeah.
So I think that's really a very personal question, right? I mean, there's no yes or no that applies to everyone. People become entrepreneurs for a variety of different reasons. Mm-hmm. I did because Selena told me to.
And are you happy, Anna?
Yes, I am. So I think really what it comes down to, at least for me, what it came down to was feel, I was being in the military, and we talk about this frequently, but there is a huge push right now for companies to hire military spouses and to provide jobs that are more transient in nature, so that you can telecommute more frequently or move from different location to different location with your position, and not have it be like every time we pack up and move after 2 years in a location, now we also have to find a new job. Because what that does is it doesn't allow us to progress professionally, despite having degrees and licenses and experience. Every time we move to a new location, we come in as, you're the new person, you're the entry level, or you can't find a job that pays you what your value is as a professional. And so a lot of military spouses have turned towards entrepreneurship. And I know for me, I was very fortunate. I worked for a company that allowed me to have extended absences of leave. So every time we moved out of country, they put me on hold for 2 to 3 years until we came back to the States. That is super rare. Like, that is really, really rare. And so, yeah. So when I left at that company, it was not because I was like, I'm going to just, it's time for me to do my own thing. It was because I knew that there was a next step, but I didn't know what it was. There was something else I wanted to spend my time on, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. So anyway, Selena said, hey, try this out. And I did a couple of projects with her specifically and discovered that I liked it. And then the next thing you know, I have a client base of my very own. And now, kaboom, a little over a year later. And it's, I'm very happy with where I'm at, but I also know that I'm still progressing. Like my job, I won't even call my job, my
your passion, your career. Yeah.
It's changing every day. Like, I've really enjoyed doing this. This maybe not so much. Maybe that's not going to be on the services section anymore,
Right. And okay, you just made such a great point, right? Of like, the one thing about being an entrepreneur and having your own business is when you're developing that aspect of your services and you're discovering, maybe not so much. It's your business. You have the, what is the word? You're able to make the change.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I know we've all been at jobs where we're like, man, I hate this, but you have no power to make the change of what you're doing other than to just quit. Right. Or, and I think that's why being an entrepreneur makes me happy. I mean, in the sense of there's so much more control that you have over your own business and, in essence, kind of like your own mental state, right? Like,
absolutely.
You're not doing something you don't want to do and that you don't like doing.
Now, I will say that there are parts to being an entrepreneur. I am not a bookkeeper. I am not an accountant. And I am, you're your own boss as well as your own employee. That's what my husband likes to say. That's one of his quotes. But it's true in the sense that you really are in charge of every bits and piece. And you may not be an expert in everything. So we've said more than once on these coffee chats, go outside your circle. And this is where you start to build that tribe of people that are supporting each other, that network. Yeah. So,
So your question was, or your answer was yes, right? Yeah.
For me, absolutely. Yeah. I think for the most part, if you're an entrepreneur, you're choosing to be that, as opposed to, feet on the ground, searching for a job all the time. And so I would say overall, yes, they are happy. Are they always successful? Maybe not, but they're happy in the sense of they're getting to do something that maybe they wanted to do. Try something out.
Yes. Yeah. No. And I will say, like, I remember, just with my career in the restaurant industry, I just remember having that scared feeling of like, I don't think I could ever run my own. I'm not capable, or I'm not. It really came down to, when I think about it, is I was not confident enough to know that I could do this myself, because I was like, well, I always have somebody else or something else or a company to land on should I make a mistake or,
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that for just a
Yeah.
minute. I mean, that feeds in really nicely. And
Mm-hmm.
it's called imposter syndrome, right? And you'll hear about this
Yes.
when you enter the entrepreneurial world. You'll hear about this where
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of looking at yourself like, am I really qualified to be offering this
Yes.
all on my own without any backup, no support, like no business structure necessarily built around it, especially for solopreneurs, right? Like, which is what Selena and I are, where
Mm-hmm.
we are our own business. We're a one woman show here.
Yeah.
And that imposter syndrome is what the ticker says. Imposter syndrome is so real. There are days where
Yeah.
you look at yourself and you're like, what am I doing? I am not
Mm-hmm.
capable of this. I
Right.
cannot do this. This is way outside my ability level. But the reality is it's not. It's not
Right.
outside your ability level. And if you've made it to a certain point, it's that growing pain, I think, of getting to the
Yeah.
very next step. And there have
Yeah.
been lots of these. I mean, when I worked in the marketing world, I did print marketing for the most
Right.
part. I'm old.
Right.
Social.
No, you're
You're
not
I'm
old.
older. What I'm saying is, when I first started out in the business world, social media did not exist. Okay,
Right.
Facebook was not even maybe a glimmer in Mark Zuckerberg's eye. I don't know, but
Right.
it wasn't like a thing. We
Mm-hmm.
were just barely getting cell phones, and
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
computers were expensive, and
Yeah.
so it was a totally different world. So moving from that world into the social media world, it was a growing pain. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was an easier switch because the basic ideas behind marketing and
Mm-hmm.
marketing strategies are the same for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. No, it's interesting like that you say that, right? I mean, but yeah, you're so not the dinosaur that you say you are, but because it's still marketing. It's still trying to see how you can take something that's your product and place it in the right spot. So for print, right, you're like, do we put it in this newspaper? Do we put it in this magazine? Do we put it on a billboard? What's the right spot to capture the audience to get people to come to that product or that service, right? And now it's just interesting because the shift is it's still creating the same asset of making a graphic. It's now utilizing social media. So the same mentality of like using emotion to draw is just like, okay, where is my audience? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Instagram? Is it on TikTok? Is it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so I don't know. And that's why I'm always like, Anna, no, it's like you have the basis. We're just changing the platform of where we're putting the ad, really.
Right. But in order to get to that point where I felt comfortable saying, oh, I can do this. Like, I know what I'm doing. I can
Right.
say that now. I feel very confident when I talk to my hey clients, if you're listening, I'm very confident in what I'm doing.
Right. No,
But when I started, there absolutely was I did feel that imposter syndrome of what am I doing? Like, I am stepping outside of my comfort zone into something that's kind of an unknown, and I don't know if I'm qualified to be there. And that's what really imposter syndrome is. And every entrepreneur goes through it.
Yes, I will. And it almost ties back to the first thing we talked about is when you find your person or find a person. So when I first got into this shift or this business, Brenna, who was one of our former guests, she was my other person. And it was nice to have somebody to bounce this emotion of feeling imposter syndrome off of. Because if you're lonely, guess what? Like the insides of yours, like, oh, I am horrible. I don't know what I'm doing. And that person drives you and tells you you don't have to do this, right? But when you have your person, it's almost helpful because you get out of your mind. And I will tell you, even today, even with as much as I know, I'll be like, Anna, I don't know. And Anna is like, no, you're great at what you do. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, boost each other up.
Yeah. And so I think tying these two together, right, Anna, it's like find somebody that really helps you get through those imposter syndrome moments. I remember when I heard that phrase, imposter syndrome, and I was like, what is that? What is imposter syndrome? And then when it was defined, like, oh, when you're trying to do this thing, but you think you're not good enough, so you really devalue yourself and your services. And I was like, oh, there's a name for how I feel.
Yes, exactly. And it's not, it's so widespread. It's something that you'll hear discussed in the entrepreneurial world. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, what a great, I mean, like we can't do another question, Selena. We're only 3.5 minutes away from closing out.
No, wait, let's just do one and then we're done. And this is a speed round and we're going to speed talk. Ready?
People. This is how it happens. This is how we hit.
No. We're going to be done in 30 minutes.
The question is?
Good one before we leave. Wait, so it's supposed to say, will entrepreneurs fail? Excuse me, I just copied over, guys. Relax.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
So there's your parting thought.
No, so okay, wait, but and I wanted to kind of just touch on this, right? And I hope I'm saying this right. Thomas Edison, how many times did it take him to create the light bulb before it actually worked? You will fail. And that's how you learn and grow in your business. So don't allow that failure of something you did to stop you from continuing. Because if you know, and if you have that desire to get it done, try again. Keep trying until you get it right or you have it figured out. Make sure you look at why you failed the first time and make the changes. So the second time you change, maybe you've moved over 1 degree and that could be the change. Right, Anna? Like, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Selena actually just sent me a TikTok video. She keeps feeding me TikTok videos. And anyway, this one specifically she sent me was the question. Who was it that was answering? I don't remember. Anyway.
I was like, I was going to say we should play it. I don't know him. I just liked what he said. And I was like,
so his answer when the woman said, what do you do when you're right in that moment of failure? What do you say to yourself when the ship is sinking and burning around you? Right?
Yeah.
And his response was, I say, what if? So I loved that because instead of it being I'll just try again, it was this moment of hope in the midst of literally that moment where you're failing, everything's going wrong. And instead of saying, well, I guess I'll just pick it up and try it again another day, he says, well, what if I can do this, or this?
Yeah.
And he just continues to move out of that. I don't know, the failure mindset.
Yeah. No, totally. Okay, we have 50 seconds, but it is the mindset. So, when you're feeling down, I love that you brought that up, Anna, because I love that part. It was just use the what if. Okay, what if I succeed? What if I this? Right? You only fail if you quit. Absolutely, Sandy. Right. Absolutely. So I loved what he said and using that. So try to use that this week. Instead of saying, I can't do it, right?
Yeah, so as our parter, I'm actually going to, I'm going to bring in that screen.
Oh, you got it? Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. We're waiting. She's got this, guys.
I have to share my screen. I have to, sorry guys, I'm going to do audio.
It's okay. Yeah. There is a curse word, so don't be like, but it's so good.
And you have to keep going.
Can you see it?
What do you say to yourself?
What if? A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I started to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years making through. You know what I said to myself? What if I could get a 36? is the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle? What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
I would like to know when you're in that.
Yeah.
What if?
Yes.
Right?
I think that was a great question to end our 15-ish minute coffee chat.
Absolutely.
Is we want everybody to just use what if, after hearing this either on our podcast or hearing this in the Facebook Live, when you're feeling like you can't, just say, what if I can?
Yeah.
Right?
I would love to hear what your what if moment is, right? So
exactly.
sometime this week, something's going to happen that makes you question who you are, what you're doing, whether there's value in it. I would love to make that your what if moment.
Yeah.
And just post it, chat it to us, hashtag it what if for us and the 15-ish minute coffee chat.
Right.
I'm going to put our new hashtag in there again. Just
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
MCC, y'all.
Yeah, right. Yes, right here, guys.
What if
hashtag what if
MCC?
Yes.
We would love to hear what your what if moment is this week that inspires you to continue to be that entrepreneur and to build your tribe, to find your person, to realize that you do have what it takes.
Right. And just FYI, this will be the last thing to say. Marianne, Anna will give you a call and let you know how to do the hashtag this week.
Yes. If you weren't there for that week, my mother sent me an actual email saying, I can't do the assignment for this week because I don't know how to hashtag.
Right. All right.
It was the single greatest email I've ever received. I laughed. Oh, just
best thing. Wait, Anna, well, let's do a cheers for our photo before we hang up. But hey guys, cheers to your day. Ready?
This is my
now. I love it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, guys. Thank you for tuning in today for Anna and I. Listening to our ramblings. We appreciate it. We will catch you next week. We are excited. We are talking about virtual assistants, and we're not going to tell you who they are.
No, it is going to be cool. If you don't know what virtual assistants is, if you don't have one but have been thinking about it, if you are one and want to provide some input on the value of your services, join us in our coffee chat next week because we're going to have some amazing VAs.
We are excited. All right, guys. Aloha. Have a great week.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.